Shut up and sit down.
Welcome in to the second episode of The Skill of Chance. My name is Cody. You can go ahead and find me on Twitter at CTIBS81. That's CTIBBS81. That's on the Twitter machine. Feel free to interact with me on there. Tweet me. I usually tweet out my picks on there if I do have any for the day. Today I do have about 6 picks. I'm going to go over those a little bit later today. I think it's 6. I have it on my phone. We have that. And we have the trick to gambling. The trick to betting on sports. What is that? We're going to get into that a little bit later today, or a little bit later on the show. We're going to kind of keep it brief for you, hopefully. And like I said, this is The Skill of Chance. We are on YouTube. Man, that's great. That sound right there is an overhitting, which is great. Get into that in a second. The Skill of Chance on YouTube, The Skill of Chance on Spreaker. A lot of you are listening on Spreaker, which is cool. If you don't want to watch me on YouTube, then great. But YouTube, you can kind of spy on me. You can usually see what game I'm watching. Right now, I am not watching anything on the iPad because the internet's down, which is really, really disappointing. That's really going to throw everything through a loop, but that's okay. I wanted to go live with this, which I think would be cool, but that's going to be all right. So, like I said, we got the trick of gambling coming up here in a second. Or not the trick, but how to be better, how to better yourself. And we'll get into that in a little bit. Yesterday, went 5-3 on the day. And that's okay because we won. And it was the first day of baseball. But it's something that I'm not thrilled with because realistically, I should have been 4-1. If I would have followed the system that I usually do and what I know, I would have been 4-1 yesterday and pretty content with that. Unfortunately, I had to dive into who's going to win or point spreads and all that good stuff. And I had the Giants yesterday -1.5 just because the last 2 opening days they've been pretty good. And that one didn't hit. The Twins got walked off on. That one I'm not so mad about. I'm more mad that I placed that bet, but they got walked off on. They were competitive, which is fine. And then who else? Oh, the Mariners were... Well, the Mariners won. They were +1.5, and that was fine. But this early in the season, right now, you're not trying... Obviously, you don't know who's who, right? You don't know who's going to be good, who's going to pan out and actually be... Because right now, I mean, okay, you know who the good teams are. It's the usual, the Astros, Yankees, Red Sox, Cubs, Dodgers, and right there. Everyone else is kind of middle of the pack, and not that they're not good, not that they can't make a run, but they're middle of the pack. You got your dominant teams, middle of the pack, and your bottom tier of teams. We need to figure out who's the bottom tier teams and who is the middle of the pack, right? Those are the teams we're looking for. I have my top tier, and I have no middle right now, and I have no bottom of the pack, right? Cleveland's a team that I think should be top of the pack, but every year, for whatever reason, I have my doubts about them. So they're not in my top tier. My bottom tier is just the Marlins right now. I mean, Marlins, maybe the Orioles, but the Orioles were okay yesterday. They got Adam Jones and Machado for now. Machado won't be around for long, but they don't have a pitching staff. So that's kind of a bunch of stuff we're looking at. The Rays are another team. I think they're going to be a bottom-tier team, but yesterday they looked okay. But kind of jumping in, yeah, I mean, so, yeah, we're looking for our upper tier of teams. And once we can figure out who the upper tier of teams are, who are the top kind of dominant teams, from there we can start playing win-loss, right? We can start picking against teams. Right now, I'm just playing point totals, and I just want run totals in the game, over-unders. I'm all about that right now. And actually, right now we have opening day for the Pirates and the Tigers, and we had the over, I think, 8.5 or 9, no matter what it was. It hit. It's like 6.5 right now, or 6.6 at the time of this recording. So that's another one, moving to 6-3. But those are 2 teams, probably middle-tier teams. Detroit will probably be a bottom-of-the-pack team again. They're in the process of, quote-unquote, rebuilding, but they got a lot of rebuilding to do, and they got a long ways to go. So yesterday, 5-3, should have been 4-1. You know, it is what it is. You can't look back, can't get mad. I get excited for opening day. It's week 1. If I'm still making this mistake in May, June, and into July, then we got issues, and I gotta go back and take a look. So starting off like that is okay, and today, let's go ahead and jump into what we got today. I think I recapped everything from yesterday. Yeah, Mariners plus 1.5. Mariners 1-2-1. I said yesterday on the show that it would be a 1-0 2-1 game. 2-1. Right there. I mean, no problem. I should have taken the under, but I didn't. I don't know why. I probably didn't want to have two bets going in the same game, just like the Twins game. But the Twins game, I split, went 1-1. I didn't want to go 1-1 again. I think that might have been the logic there. And so, yeah. Let's preview today. And like I said, a lot of guessing this time of year, right? It's a lot of reaching, a lot of chasing, a lot of guessing. So I have two educated guesses, and then I got some other real bets. My two educated guesses is the Dodgers and the Red Sox. Expect the Dodgers to bounce back today against Johnny Cueto, and they got Alex Wood on the mound. Alex Wood's traditionally a very good pitcher. Cueto's very hit or miss, pretty average, I think. So we have Boston minus 147, the Dodgers minus 165, just because I expect them to bounce back. I have nothing else. I think Boston's a better team than Tampa, but I don't. I have no other reason. Boston could start slow, but this is more of a, hey, let's not panic. Let's get back to 1-1 for both of them, right? So I think Boston wins a lot more than they lose. Right now they're 0-1. Both of those teams expecting a bounce back. And David Price on the mound for Boston. I mean, he's definitely the second best number 2 starter in the league. Would be a 1 anywhere else except for Houston, or at least in the American League, right? The American League, there's no better 1-2 combo than Chris Sale and David Price, right? I believe that's right. If not, that's my opinion. So, if you disagree, or if there's a better combo, leave a comment on YouTube or on Spreaker, or tweet at me. Tweet at me at ctibbs81, and there's probably not a better 1-2 combo than Price and Sale. But Price on the mound, probably he's a good guy to get you back on track. Starts off the season pretty well. Usually starts off pretty strong. Blake Snell, a guy that we don't know a lot about, who is pretty okay. I think he's an okay guy, but I expect Boston to bounce back. I just switched energy drinks, by the way. Not thrilled about that. The all-natural organic ginseng, B vitamins, organic grapefruit juice, organic caffeine. Not about it, but that's okay. Okay, so baseball picks for the day. We have 2 guesses and 2 real picks. Over 9 in the Pittsburgh-Detroit game that hit. That game's 6-6 in the bottom of the 8th. Yay, go me. We have Washington and Cincinnati minus 8.5. And I'm going to go into real detail about this game a little bit later. Or I'm going to go into a little bit of detail on why I took this game. I'll never go into full detail. I'm here to just push you in the right direction. We have them over 8.5. They start at 4.10. So you guys will be missing out on that one. And yeah, for hockey, we have the Lightning minus 145 coming off a tough loss yesterday. I believe they're going to bounce back big time today. I am a Lightning fan, but I do believe they are playing a lot better lately. They didn't pick up a win last night. They should have. They kind of got gypped by the refs. Another bad goalie interference call, by the way. The Lightning keep getting screwed on that. And what is goalie interference? It's like the catch rule in the NFL. No one really knows what goalie interference is. Not the point. We have the Lightning minus 145 at the New York Rangers tonight at 7 o'clock. And we have the Blues, which is a game I don't like as much, but we do have the Blues plus 107 at the Golden Knights. The Blues have won a bunch in a row, including their last 5. Vegas has won 2 out of their last 5. So I expect, I think Vegas was kind of riding that we're the outcast, we're the underdog type deal, and that gets old pretty quickly. And I think we have reached that point. So, all in all, like I said, we have the over 9 in the game going on right now with Pittsburgh and Detroit. We have the over 8.5 in the National Cincy game. And we have the Red Sox minus 147, the Dodgers minus 165 in baseball. Moving into hockey, we have the Lightning minus 145 and the Blues plus 107. That's a 10:30 start. You might be able to get in on that. Going a little fast, man. Yeah, I kind of giving you a lot of information in about 10 minutes. And let's just see. I'm trying to track my picks. In the NBA, the last few games, I am 18-7. So, but all the basketball games tonight, man, I'm not a big NBA guy at all, but I mean, I'm 18-7. Shows you I have a system. We'll get into that in a second. But the NBA, man, some weird spreads. Where's the weird spreads? Utah minus 15.5 home against the Grizzlies. 15.5. That was a big one. I stayed away from that one, obviously. Lakers are minus 1.5 against a good Milwaukee team. By good, I mean they're 5 games over 500, and the Lakers are 8 games below 500. Actually, I feel like I just saw that. If I were to take a game, it would be that Laker game, but I probably won't. And then Houston's minus 17.5 against the Suns tonight. So another one I'm staying far, far away from. Interesting. So anyway, that's what we got for all our picks tonight. I'm not going to do more research and try to convince myself to pick more. I got 6 games going tonight. I am more than pleased with that. Let's get into the trick of gambling, right? There's a trick to this whole thing. And not that it was clickbait, but it's the honest truth. The trick is time. It just takes a little bit of time and research. And I'm sure a lot of you are probably about to click out of this, but let me tell you the research side of things, and let me tell you why I picked, which one do we got going here in a minute? The Nationals at the Reds, right? Very, very, very simple. It takes you 5 minutes to do this kind of research. The Nats game. Max Scherzer in his first 2 starts last year gave up quite a bit of runs, 4, 5, maybe even 6. But Homer Bailey on the mound. Homer Bailey realistically is a number 3, number 4, maybe even a number 5 starter. I mean, being honest, on most teams. And he is not an opening day starter, but he's on the mound. He gave up 8 runs in both of his starts last year against the Nationals. And in my mind, the Nationals are about the same team as they were last year. So, it's very simple. The Nationals won 14-3 and 11-3 last year. And I know we're looking at last year, but the Reds didn't get any better. And the Nationals didn't get any worse. And Max Scherzer usually starts pretty slow. That's all you need to know. When you do this enough times, you start to realize things. And I remember that from last year. I remember Homer Bailey really struggling against the Nationals. When you do it enough, you come up with different things. And you do it enough, you start to realize things. And you can start developing strategies on your own. This thing like dried my mouth out. But I've developed quite a few, or a couple, strategies. And I'm a baseball guy, so I watch it relatively often, but enough now to where I don't really have to watch it that much. I can look at numbers, and I realize, okay, well, that's a no-brainer. Such as betting opening day overs. Something that people aren't talking about. Like I said, I would have been 4-1 yesterday on opening day. And today is technically opening day for 2 other teams that were PPD'd yesterday. And the first one's over already, and I picked that one. And I have the over 8.5 on today's. It's pitchers' first starts of the year. Golly, man. So, Johnny Cueto and Alex Wood. There might be a good over there. There's a bunch of them. So keep your eye out. But when you do it enough, you can develop your own strategy. And you can move into starting to figure things out and realizing certain things that people aren't realizing. And you have a chance to make some money. Simple. But it's not. So, I've done it for a few years. Not that many. Not as many as a lot of people. I am still relatively young to actually be doing well at this. But it is what it is, man. Just do it enough times, and I guarantee you'll figure it out. Let's move into the Final Four this weekend, since I will probably not be... Actually, I might make a video tomorrow, but let's get into this real quick for tomorrow. Sister Jean versus Michigan. Sister Jean is 6-point dogs. Give me Sister Jean. Sister Jean in the points. Loyola is a very good team. Kansas State's a better team than Michigan. I believe Nevada's a better team than Michigan. Tennessee, nope, I won't go that far. The last two teams that Kansas State has played, or the last two teams that Loyola have played, have been equally as talented as Michigan. The last few teams that Michigan has played are not as competitive as Loyola will be. So I like Loyola plus the points. Plus 5.5. The one that I really like but I can't seem to bite on yet, which I probably will, is the under 129.5. 129.5, which is very, very low. The Kansas Nova game is 155, 154.5. That Michigan game is 129.5. I really like the under in that game, but I will probably stay away from it. But there's something about it. It's just talking to me. So, actually, it opened at 128.5. Now it's at 129.5. That game, it might get up to 130.5 by tomorrow, in which case we'll be all over the over. Did you catch that? What happened? Big line moves. Look at line moves. That's part of strategies. We'll get into. I'm actually going to get into that in a video on line moves and what I think of them. But right now we'll start winding it down. And Kansas and Nova, give me Nova -5. They're so good. They are so good. I don't feel great about that bet, but Nova is just unbelievable. I will take that -5, and I will probably end up taking the under 155 because it's already starting to move down. 155 will probably be the number I go with, and basically a no-brainer at under 155. That game should be a good one, though. I am looking forward to that Kansas Nova game. Really looking forward to that Loyola game. I love Loyola. I think that's going to about wrap it up for us today. Let me check my notes, but I appreciate you watching. My name is Cody. Go ahead and find me on Twitter at ctibbs81. That's CTIBBS81. Hey, if you don't want to watch me on the screen, that's fine. Go ahead and go to Spreaker. We are there. And that's going to about wrap it up. I do appreciate you guys watching, as always. If you're still watching, I'm going to give you a pick. And comment if you see this, because the video's not over yet. Phillies. Nope. Where's it at? Huh. I feel like I need to give you something if you're still watching. Hold on. Oh boy. I had one later one that I liked. The over in Milwaukee and San Diego, all over it. Absolutely all over it. If not, that Boston Tampa Bay over, by the way, at over 7.5, or that under 7.5 rather, is a very good number. I personally, as a Rays fan, I believe that they are. I believe that Blake Snell is very good, and I think David Price is going to dominate that lineup. Give me that over, or give me that under all day. Yeah, we're going to take that right now. Thanks for sticking to the end.